Welcome, beautiful warriors. I was really compelled to put this together. You know, when Spirit called me to start doing moon readings again, I was convinced I was just going to do 8 readings a month like I was doing before, but they were like, no, we're just going to do, new, first, full, and third. For some reason, I kept thinking that the third quarter moon was tomorrow. It's actually in 2 days from now. But I was just feeling this pull to do a reading. I have not felt a pull like this in a really long time. So, because we are in the waning gibbous energy and the reflect and release energy, I was like, okay, well, what is it that we need to look at? What is it, that we want to work with? Our beautiful fairy guides and our higher selves pulled together this beautiful and luscious display of loveliness. I mean, literally, like there's just so much good going on in our altar today. When I was mowing the grass, I was really compelled to grab this little fairy bubble that wanted to come in. It's just, there's so much to say. And I really want to continue sharing so much with y'all, but I'm also feeling I'm going through such a massive transformation, and I really genuinely believe we all are. It's just we're all doing it at different levels. I feel like the only people who are staying in the everyday norm are people who are still living in the third dimensional reality that, like, what we're doing here is phooey, hooey nonsense, a bunch of fairy query, whatever, you know what I mean? Like they just don't see what we see. And then there are some people who are really 100% without, you couldn't tell them otherwise because they have been so like brandished, I guess is the word. I don't know. That's the word that just came to mind. By the Bible, or you name your religious text, but definitely in the Bible we are in an Armageddon. Revelations. Drink some water. Wow, it's not even 3 minutes in and they're like, drink some water, because we really need to stay hydrated right now. So that's why you're seeing a lot of horrific things happening. Also, there's so much social media now, and there's so many television stations and podcast. I mean, there's just so much. Everybody's got something to say, says the person who's has a channel. But you know what I mean? Like, I tried them all. I mean, when Facebook first came out, I thought it was fucking horrible. I remember the first time I heard about Facebook, I was like, what? And because I moved away from home when I was 23, 2,200 miles away, to me, it didn't sound like my whole point was I moved away from that, so I didn't have to know about it, see it. You know what I mean? Like, I was much more comfortable before the internet when I would just, fly home once, maybe twice a year, see people, do the same shit I would do, go see my family, go to holiday stuff, go to the local bar, see all my old friends from high school. You know what I mean? Like, every fucking time I came home, one or many of my friends put something together for me to see a bunch of people at once, because it was just too hard, especially, if I can only come in for like 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I'd go to like maybe a family thing because my family, didn't drink, and I would, go out to the bars with my friends like after. But it was a lot easier to see 20 people in one place than me trying to go around and seeing 20 people. And so when Facebook came on, I just thought, this is hell. I was like, this is hell. But then I finally, like, I finally jumped on the bandwagon once, like everybody, because my one friend was like, oh, you have to. And then it was kind of cool because I had a time where I was coming home for something, and my friend put it on Facebook, and it was like, holy shit. It was like a reunion. It was like a high school reunion. Like so many people like showed up, and it was really cool. But then I started to see the insidious side of it. And just like, I don't know, it was like, I feel like I grew up in a time, and maybe you will feel this way too, feel free to comment below, but I feel like I grew up in a time where things weren't very attainable. Let's just give an example. There was this girl that I went to high school with, super awesome, great girl, good friend, wonderful person. She was not somebody that like was super popular or like went out with a lot of, popular guys, And long story short, once that came out, everybody was starting to connect with each other. I mean, I was getting people who were sending me emails that I'm like, who are you? Like, I felt like a jerk that I didn't remember them, but they were just like, you changed my life. Thank you so much. And and then I had a few people, who were like, you bullied me, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So it was like this good, the bad, the good, the bad, right? Quote unquote, good, bad, good, bad. Um, but all of these interesting things. So now cut back to this friend who all of a sudden they're an adult, they're, you know, they like the way they look, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They start having fun with these guys because they're like, these guys were unattainable to them. Now they're older. Some of them are divorced. You know what I mean? I'm 53, just to put out there if you're new here. Welcome. For those of you who keep coming back, thank you for coming back. But you see where I'm going with this. I started to see a pattern that was happening with people. It was like everybody was like trying to like live out some fantasy or some dream and then I started to see the whole internet was like that. And then porn and especially because when I was living in Los Angeles, I remember when porn was, I lived in Sherman Oaks, so I was literally like right next to like the porn capital of the world. And so just all these very interesting things. And I just started to see just how validating and invalidating these sources could be. And even myself, I get caught up in screen, whatever. Lately, my eyes have been like hurting, or like I'm like seeing double. Things are looking pixelated. And I started to realize I'm like, I am just in way too many worlds at once, and I cannot be on my phone for too long. Like my eyes are literally like starting to say, fuck you. I don't want to look at this. Like, let's look at something else. So I've been playing outside. I've been playing, in my house and coloring and just like doing more things where I'm not on my phone. I'll listen to music, but like just giving my eyes a rest, just sitting outside. It's springtime where I live in the Northern Hemisphere, and just like watching things come to life. And we moved again recently. And so I love whenever we move before a big season change, because I get to see that place either come to life or go to sleep for the year, or both. But in this case, when we first got here, it was pretty brutal and I was not very happy and whatever. But now I'm so grateful that I've had the time to kind of sink in here. I don't know how long we'll be here, but it's quite beautiful. And even though it's not perfect, it's really, really, really breathtaking. And all the trees and the birds, and I'm like right at the edge of a wetland and mud flats, and it's just like this really magical fucking place. I mean, literally every day I see eagles and all these different types of birds, um, cranes, blue herons. Literally, you can almost name a bird, and I'm like, yep, I mean, for this region, obviously, no toucans are flying by, but I've just been taking a moment to just be outside and just look at nature and just watching nature, just laying down in the grass and watching ants walk by, watching, a spider spin its web. Those are the kind of things that I feel like Spirit is really pushing for us, because when I've been really pulled to this deck for a minute, and when they said we were going to use How to Love Yourself today, I was like, oh, it's so perfect, because I feel like so many of us are breaking down these old paradigms from our old life and our old existence. And when we're looking at our true selves now and not looking at ourselves through the lens and the scope of an old version of ourselves that was co-created, we're starting to really understand who we are. And I truly believe in my heart that the only way to figure out who we are, where we are, why we're here, all of these things, I feel that the only way for us to do that is to unplug. Of course, I'm doing this for you, and I want you to watch this. I do the same. I'll go on 1116 is our angel number. Thank you, Spirit. They said, I'll remember it. Okay. It's also the number 9. Thank you. We are in a 9 year, and so many things are changing, and there are so many things out there that are true, and there are so many things out there that are not true. And the only way to determine that right now is to use our intuition. But if our intuition is blocked by all of these other subservient, servient, is that the word? You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like these underlying, it's not our truth. And I will put a link in the description box. Always check out the description box for little pearls from Spirit or little reminders for us to research things on our own. But they had me put this shorts together, and I posted it earlier today in real time on Friday, April 18th, 2025. They had me post that today. But I feel like I want you to listen to it, watch it, but watch the video because it's beautiful. But then when you're done watching the video, I want you to just let it loop, close your eyes, and just keep listening to it. I'm not exaggerating, you guys. I listened to it on loop probably 7 or 8 times, and each time I felt like I got a deeper meaning to what they were saying and trying to explain. Not only that, but I had a moment where I started to cry because I was like, I felt gutted because I really connected to what they were saying, which was that we are so reliant on these false narratives that we were given and raised with. And if you are here right now and you're looking at this screen, you see all the magic that's in front of you. To somebody else, they may not even understand this, or, I've been having a lot of really horrible, harsh moments with my ancestors and with my family. And when I am away from Spirit too much and I get too caught up in social media or, watching because I love watching animal rescue things, but they still fucking gut me. Especially if I watch, do you guys watch Rocky Kanaka? If you don't, I think that's how you say his last name. I'm going to put a link below for that too. I love Rocky and I love his stories and I love supporting him and stuff, but I cannot, I'll start watching, or I'll just see it come up and I'll hear no. And I'm like, okay, because when you run a rescue, you're hoping to rescue, but sometimes they don't make it. Just like any other being, sometimes they don't make it. I had a moment recently where I've been trying to get one of my plants to survive, and she's gone. And I was devastated because even though I've had some plants and flowers that I've had for, or flowering plants that I've had for years, in the last few years, all of my, I was growing this beautiful garden of plants and flowering plants, and long story short, they all started to die off. And the last one I had was, Jazzy, you know, which was my jasmine plant, she's one of the first things that Alder ever, he gave me presents and gifts, but I had said to him once that I loved flowers. And I said, how come you never give me flowers? And he said, I think flowers are horrible. He's like, you give somebody something so beautiful and you watch them die. And he's like, I don't know, I just don't believe in it. And I was like, okay. I said, well, why don't you buy me something that would live then? Something that, you know. And so Jazzy was one of the first, we got her together, okay? And it was just the whole day was magical from beginning to end. We went to this Hobbit house place, and we, you know, it was this beautiful nursery, and they had like this guy created a replica of the front of Bilbo's um, you know, little Hobbit cabin house, whatever. It's really magical. It's actually in the Puget Sound, and I cannot remember the town right now off the top of my head, but I'd heard about it. And long story short, we went there and we got her, and there was just so much magic that happened that day from beginning to end. Just from like it was like one of the first adventures we ever had. So anyway, I'd always, out of all my plants and everything that I had, my connection to her was so special because we both just like loved her, and we both would talk to her. And I noticed she was starting to look really peaked last year. Oh gosh, 1620 is our angel number. That's so interesting. I don't want to start crying. Anyway, Jazzy's officially gone. And I realized that she and Bubba were going at the same time. And many people may not understand this, but we all had an attachment to her. Bubba loved her, you know, because she's jasmine. So she smelled like, sometimes Bubba would just like put her little face in the flower. And I think I may have gotten her one time on camera, but because she would just do it for like a second. It's like I couldn't get my phone, but it would, you know, fast enough. But it would just be like the way that we all just loved her. And Bubba would like rub up on her and stuff. And I used to hug her. And so, it just made me really sad the other day because I realized I've been like really trying, and I feel like I was almost like loving her to death because I was trying so hard to get her to survive. But she's like, I'm gone. Like, you need to start over. And it just made me realize like just how much we have attachment to things. And it's just a very human, basically, what I got from Spirit, 1755, another angel number. What I got from Spirit is that if you found yourself to this video, just like myself, you're a servant of God, Goddess, Creator, energy. Like, we are servants, and not in like the very human, dark shadow, you know, slavery version of a servant, but like the privilege of being created to be this servant of Spirit. But we cannot serve others if we are not loving ourselves. And you may have noticed that the little snail wanted to come in, because I feel like some of you are like, how come it's taking so long? And I'm like, well, you know, because Spirit's trying to show us that it's just a very human thing. Oh, thank you. It's just a very human thing for us to want to do it at our pace instead of going at Spirit's pace, when we know that that's the true pace. That's what we really need to go at. Also, so some of you may be aware of this and some of you may not, but I received a pretty big download that I'm going to keep working with, 1925. I feel like that's a year, by the way, and I feel like that's a year that's come up before. So for one of our tribe members, you were either born in 1925 in another life. I feel like you lived 6 years, or you died in 1925. So I don't know if that connects with anybody, but I saw the number 6. So it could be 60, but I kind of feel like it's 6 years old. But I just feel like you were super wise and super smart and almost like a savant, like where like people treated you a certain way. And in this lifetime, I feel like you are not treated that way. And so it's really hard for you to love yourself if you're not like, 2011 and then 2012, if you're not like the center of attention, or if you're not like, and not necessarily like, look at me, center of attention, but like serving, because it's so you're so used to serving. But you had like a short stint where you got to like kind of be like a mini superhero. I don't know who this is for, but it's coming through really strongly. And so there's something tied to that. But I also am seeing a woman, a blonde, very beautiful, in this really cute outfit. It looks like a traveling outfit. It looks like a cream colored, like, knitted beret, very blonde hair. It could be natural, but it just feels very, very blonde, almost like a straw blonde. But I just kind of see you in this very like monochromatic outfit, but very stylish, very beautiful 20s, but you're wearing pants, which isn't very common, but it looks like your outfit was made for you. Like you're very affluent. You have a lot of money. There's something to do with that too. And I don't know, I don't feel an affiliation with the 6-year-old. At the same time, but there's something there. Ooh, 2120 and then 2021. So yeah, and then that's interesting too, because we were just talking about 1925. So there's some, yeah, 2120, there's something in there. So let me know if this resonates with any of you, with any of you. So messages from spirit. I have abundance in all areas of my life. This is something that they want us to acknowledge and accept and be okay with it, because I feel like some of you, it's almost like I said, there's some past life trauma or something that, like, this wanted to be here before and now I feel like it wants to move. I feel like there's like some type of, yeah, like I want to say trauma. I gotta be mindful because there's a candle back here. I don't want to knock that off and start a fire. Yeah, there's just like, I'm feeling like this fidgety, see this, like, see me moving. I'm feeling a very fidgety feeling, and we are working with this butterfly energy. So, but it just feels more than that. It feels, gosh, I wish I could explain it. Maybe you understand, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. The next one says, I am totally in charge of my life now. Yeah, so there's something from your past. And the butterfly wanted to come over here because I feel like they're trying to say, like, you're free. You're free. There's some odd, okay, so this is really going to blow some of your frames off the doors, or doors off the frames. Oh my gosh. So I just saw that in between that lifetime and this lifetime, you lived somewhere else in another galaxy far, far away. I don't know what the story is, but that's why I feel like this wanted to come in, because I kind of feel like you were in a form. You weren't back in spirit form, but wherever you were, it was very magical. Like, it could even be Arcturian or something. Like, I feel like you went somewhere to study. And then, and this could be a bunch of us. I don't know. This is just so interesting. Like I said, I was really pulled to do this reading, 2345. So whomever this is for, it's like, you know, but I'm just getting this vibe, like even with the snail, that they're trying to show you, like, you have to go at the pace that you're at now. It's almost like, maybe normally, like, you would like go take a long vacation between human lifetimes, you know, like, because you're a servant, we're servants of this, of spirit, right? So, but I feel like you didn't get to do that. And I almost feel like you feel like you're missing something, maybe because you didn't get to go home. Because, like, just because there's space in between, like, 1925 to 2025. Oh, yeah, that's 100 years. I didn't even put that together till now. That's so crazy. But it's almost like you went from one life to the next, which kind of was a head fuck too, because right, like if you're living now, depending on how old you are, if this resonates with you, it could even, and it could even be that for some of you, like we're all so connected, right? So it could even be for some of you, you were earth angels at that time, but also maybe for some of you, you were guardian angels for those people at that or during that time. Do you know what I mean? There's just something where I feel like you kind of went from bam bam, like one life to another life without kind of taking a break in between, and that was part of your soul journey to see if you can do it. You know how like sometimes you're like, you don't really have to do something, but you're like, I just want to see if I could do it. I just want to see if I could do it. And people are like, oh, I do. What if you hurt yourself? And you're like, well, I don't know. I just got to do it. I feel like it was something you wanted to do, almost as if like you wanted to skip a level. So you're like, so I don't have to do this. I'm going to do this. But you're totally in charge of your life now. So this needs to be your mantra all the time. Also, these are double-sided. I love it. And it says, I claim abundance for myself right here and right now. I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve my good. So what I'm feeling is like I said, like, I feel like some of you died at an early age, or some of you, like maybe when you were this beautiful woman, you know, maybe you were limited, or you didn't have, like, maybe on the outside you were really rich, but you felt really poor. And maybe you wanted to see what it was like to struggle in this lifetime, you know? Every life is different, you know, especially as soul workers and people who 2634. Oh, I looked down, it's not even 2634. That's so wild. So, but do you hear what I'm saying? Like there's always a practical purpose for everything that we do. And I like that at the bottom of that, it says, I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve my good, and how they have my good in like cursive and like just to kind of italicize, like you are good. I also feel like in maybe one of these past lives, and again, just because I identified with the pictures that were given to me, this could be past lives for a bunch of you. And it might not be in that time period. But I definitely feel like a lot of the light workers that are here now are going through something really profound, because, you know, some of them have never been here before, or like people are like, oh no, there's no way you can be on earth if you know, you wouldn't be an earth angel if you've never been through. And I'm like, I don't know. I've had so many different experiences and I'm witnessing so many things. And so when Spirit told me that all of us are Reikis today, I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yes. They're like, what is Reiki? They're like, it's sun. It's the sun energy, and it's chi, right? It's like, it's all about our own healing energy. When I call upon the healing energies of the universe, or I call upon Reiki energy, or all of the above, it just depends. But when I call on that energy, I'm doing that with an intention of healing. Now, yes, I was put on this earth to be a Reiki, but what I'm saying is I'm starting to understand that the magic of earth and the connection to spirit is that we are put here and like our memory banks erased, so to speak. And then when we're here, we have all of these experiences. And all of these experiences make us up into who we are in this very moment at this place in time. 28, 29. That feels like ages. That does not feel like years. So I feel like for some of you, like maybe 28, 29 was like the time that you like started to really understand like what was happening, right? Because you had like almost 3 decades under your belt and you're starting to see like what's going on. And, you know, but I'm feeling like from Spirit, what they're trying to say is that we can all access, we're all divine light beings, and we're all having a human experience. Now, yes, I do believe there are some of us, like in this group, that we are angels. We're earth angels. So we have a different purpose. We are created. And yes, we have many gifts. But I feel what Spirit was trying to say is that any of us can call upon the Reiki energy. You don't have to go through the attunement. You don't have to get certified. It's just another trump card. Ha, funny. Ha, no pun intended, but seriously, right? Just another bullshit tactic to get us to spend money, to pay money, to give money, you know, for something that we inherently already have. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. We all have the ability every single day when we wake up to say, today I choose X, Y, and Z. Insert your life and story here, right? Every day we can say, I choose to eat this. I choose to wear this. I choose to talk to this person. I choose to go here. I choose to stay at home. Every moment of every day from the time our eyes open, we are given endless choices. Obviously, if you're in, some type of prison or, more horrible, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, but even then, no one can take your mind. I know I've been in situations that were not desirable, but you have to just go somewhere else for a minute, because you can't, it could be so horrible and so horrific. So you have to go somewhere else. And I think it's interesting because this says, I am totally in charge of my life now. Let's see what's on the back. I have a feeling I remember this one. The moment I say positive affirmations, I step out of the victim role. I am no longer helpless. I acknowledge my own power. Right? Because we get to decide. And the moment 3108, then 3110, the moment we put out into the world that we're helpless, that it's not our fault, that we have no choice. I watched something once. It was really horrible. And this person was going to be killed. And they're like, do you have any last words? Do you have any? And they're like, no. And they were just so at peace. And you could just tell, like, there were other people around them crying and like hysterical, and they were just totally at peace. Because they're like, no, I don't regret what I did. I'm glad I did it. It made my life better. I was a happier person. Instead of like living in what they wanted them to be, they decided to live outside of, in a time that it wasn't okay to do that. And they were caught. And they were like, I don't care. Like those moments that I had with that person during that time, it's fine. And the interesting thing is that they both died at the same time. So they were like, cool, let's get the fuck out of here, right? Like, who wants to be here? We can't be who we want to be here. So let's go, right? It's all in the way you look at it. But we have been branded to believe that this third dimensional reality is all there is. Just like atheists or people, they're like, there's nothing past this. Like, this is it. It's like, well, if that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. But when they die, like, they'll realize and be like, oh, wow, and they'll remember. But this whole human thing is very much an experiment. When I looked down, it was 3303, 369. It's very much a human experiment. And that's what they want you to remember. It's not a negative thing either. I receive life's gifts with joy and pleasure and gratitude. Now, they didn't have me flip over before this quickly, but they're having me do it now. I open myself to all good. So the slow-moving train isn't as bad as you think. They're saying it's actually really good because, do you ever like want to do something so badly? Like you just want to do it so bad, like you just can't wait. You're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait, a vacation, whatever it is. You can't wait to do it. And then when it's over, it's like, oh, and you're so sad because it's over. You know what I'm talking about. Vacation, a date, whatever it is. But something you were really excited and jazzed about. And when it's over, it feels, there's just like almost like a sadness that it's over. And Spirit is saying, no, it's the old adage, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. It's funny, one of my childhood friends growing up, there was a lot of us, actually, a lot of people in my friend group. We had really cool parents ancestors, family members, whatever you want to say, they gave us all some really good pearls. And that was always one of my favorite ones from my childhood friend's dad. And I really feel like it's such a beautiful way to look at something. You know, I still have moments earlier today, I bawled my fucking eyes out thinking about Baba. Spirit and Bubba, you know, she had me post something on one of my channels today, and it's not easy, you know. My gosh, I think it's like how many weeks now? 11 weeks. I think it's been 11 weeks. She died on January 31st on a Friday, and today's a Friday. And I had this moment when I was putting this together, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's the last day of Aries season." Like, we're still in the Aries moon, but it's the last day of Aries season. And so tomorrow we are going into Taurus energy. Then on Sunday we have the third quarter moon, which is also Easter. And then and 420, woo! You know, it's also my grandmother will be gone 25 years. That's so crazy. And then a few days later we have Earth Day. I don't know if the whole world celebrates that, but I know America does. April 22nd is Earth Day. So I just feel like it's been a lot of, you know, just intense energy. Before I started this, I saw another shooting. You know, it's so difficult for a lot of people to keep their minds and their hearts and their souls focused on the upbeat energy. I understand. And this is going to be really harsh and maybe hard for some of you to hear. But I want you to start acting like it has nothing to do with you. Because it doesn't. Now, that doesn't mean that you turn a blind eye and you're like, whatever. No matter what I read, even if I feel like something about it's not true, I still say a little prayer for it and then I move on. But I saw another shooting and I'm like, ugh. And I just am like, you know, spirit, blah, blah, blah. And I say a little prayer and I let it go. But before I was starting to be like, oh my gosh, it's like, but if we go that way, we are not doing our work here. I acknowledge my own power. The moment I say positive affirmations, I step out of the victim role. I am no longer helpless. We don't have the luxury to play human anymore. We are human, yes. We chose to be human, yes. But I am telling you, lately I've been having a lot of interesting things happening. I am working so much while I'm sleeping. Like, I wake up and I'm like, oh my, like, I'm in so many different places at once. I recorded this really long video. I don't know if I'll show it to you guys or not, but it was just because I literally like was like, I just really wanted to more just like record it so I could remember it, because so much shit happened, but it was just so intense. And I'm having dreams now of like spaceships and lights coming down and just like really intense stuff, and having all these like memories of when I first started having my awakening and dreams I was having back then, and how I'm realizing that those dreams may actually be reality here, which is kind of trippy. But you know, now nothing really feels trippy to me anymore, because it's such a fine line between what's real and what's not. Even us connecting with each other, I think that's the only thing that's going to keep us somewhat fucking sane, is to remember that it's not really real, but it's real. And that's why my job is to not, I mean, I'd always, you know, said that many teachers and shamans, gurus, whatever, from different places all told me that I was a healer for the healers. But what I started to understand more and more over the years is that I'm just a leader in general. Like, whatever it is I'm meant to do, then that's what I'm meant to do. And right now, by the way, doesn't this look like a spider? I keep thinking that there's like a spider crawling up there and I cannot not see it. And I have to tell you, earlier, this spider came through and I took some video. This awesome grandmother spider was crawling all over the altar. It was really cool. But what they're trying to say is that the lines are very blurred. And if you need a point of reference right now, is kind of what I'm hearing from Spirit 39, 57, and then 58. Is there is a show called Westworld. I think it's done. I don't remember if I watched the whole thing or not, but you need to watch Westworld. It is so good. It is so well done. I'm not saying that's exactly what Earth is, but there's something in there. That's why we have people who are writing books or scripts for movies or, you know what I mean, TV shows, you name it. I can go on and on for how many things have been put out there. But all it's really doing is unraveling humanity and showing us all forms and facets of it. You know, some people think what's happening on the earth right now is really awesome in terms of like the political realm. They're like, good, well, now, you know, you're right. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. But when I saw earlier today, I saw that they repealed this, the fucking sea turtle from the endangered species. And so that they can fucking catch, oh my God. Like this, here's the thing. I see what the president of the United States is trying to do. It's so obvious. What he's trying to do is instead of us just saying that we're the most powerful country in the world, he's trying to make us the most powerful country in the world. And the only way to do that is to stop outsourcing. And if we're going to outsource, then we might as well, anyway, I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm just saying like, he's in like Game of Thrones in his mind, 4141, which is also 5 and 5, which is change and transformation. And so, in their mind, they're like, I don't care about the sea turtles. I care about the humans. And it's kind of like the same thing, like how people are like, I don't care about animals. I care about people. And when we're like, no, animals have just as many rights as we do, right? So we are looking out for the sea turtles because of the fucking bullshit that the humans are doing to the ocean. And you know what I mean? Like there's all these reasons why we put all these conservations and things in place. There's a reason for it, to keep the ecosystem going a certain way. And it's like they're in this like whoever has the most money and the most toys wins. And it's like it's not what that's not what this is about. So I don't know how deep or dark or ugly this is going to get. But all I can tell you is there's a reason why so many humans on earth have gone more to growing their own food, taking care of themselves, living off the land, that kind of thing. Do you think these guys with all this money and all this power, you think they're just going to go away quietly, or like all of a sudden just have an awakening one day and just like start fucking singing Kumbaya? That would be nice, but I don't think it's going to go down that way. So this isn't a fear. I'm not trying to inject fear. I'm just trying to show you that spirit will have our back. Yes. But these people are going to keep destroying themselves. It's almost like they're in their own world. They're in their own world. We're all on the same planet at the same time. We're in different dimensions and different time frames, because those who are in the fifth dimensional energy, it's not a place that you walk into. It's not a door that you walk through. It is a consciousness. It's a level of consciousness that makes us understand and realize that love is the only currency that there is. And that this other stuff is old. It's old. It's like, we didn't start out like that, being greedy, all this talking about, 1 minute they're saying, this about autism, and the next minute they're saying this about autism. And it's just like throwing words and labels around and all this. It's just so fucking nutty cuckoo. If you look at it too closely, it will make you feel crazy. So they're saying like, we need to stop looking at that stuff and look at our own stuff, because we cannot help them out of that shadow and out of that darkness if we don't help ourselves first. So, I don't even know how this got in there, but clearly it was meant to be, because it's from a different deck. I make time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. So as you know, I just said we're in the 6th moon phase. There's 8 moon phases. So we will be in the 3rd quarter moon phase in the next 48 hours. So when that happens, we will be in the 7th moon phase about transition and forgiveness. And then we will be going to the last week of the Aries moon. And that will be the 8th moon phase, which is rest and restore. So I'm getting the vibe like basically whenever you watch this, it's timeless, but in real time, I'm feeling like from the time you see this until the end of April and the new moon in Taurus, to just take it easy and take it slow. Take a lot of time to yourself. This is from the Miracles Now. And some of you have been like praying for a miracle, and Spirit's like, you will have your miracle, but you got to recharge your battery. You got to take care of yourself. Wow, do we have any more? Okay, 2 just came right out at the same time, so I'll put them in. Interesting that it's upside down, and this is one that fell on the fire. With affirmations, I claim my inner power. And on the back it says, no matter what I choose to believe or say, the universe always says yes to me. Therefore, I choose only positive thoughts and words, right? I open myself to all good. So I'm getting the vibe from some of you, loving yourself is just not high on the menu. That's why this deck wanted to come out. You have to let yourself cry. Like I said earlier today, man, I just had a moment where I just started fucking bawling my eyes out. I miss Baba so much. I can barely breathe some days. And I've had animals before, but you guys know Baba. I mean, she's my best friend. She was more than my cat. And because she was so smart, she was like my teacher, my mom. We took really good care of each other. But lately I've been like going, just so I don't have to think about her all day because I miss him so much. I feel like that's for me too. In fact, I'm going to see Alder tomorrow, and I thought tomorrow was a 3rd quarter moon, and I was really bummed because there's some cool things going around in our town tomorrow, and I wanted to kind of go check them out, and I was going to see if he wanted to go, but then I was like, I didn't want to get so drained that I wouldn't be able to do the reading for you guys. And then here it is, like super late at night on Friday night, and 47:27, and I started to feel this like overwhelming energy, like I don't know, I just felt like I had to reach out to you guys. And when I saw the calendar and saw everything made sense to me, because I thought I really want to spend time with him tomorrow. I want to be really present and not thinking about like I have to get home and do a reading, or or worrying about depleting my energy being around a bunch of people. And but I feel like this is a good message for all of us. So I think this is our last card. Every time I meditate or do a visualization for healing, I am connecting with like-minded people all over the world. Yes. So that's what I was saying. And look at how these cards are almost, do you notice how they have different patterns on them? But this one, these two have the same pattern. See what I mean? But those two have the same pattern. So I feel like that goes together. It's almost like 2 mantras at the same time. So with that in mind, let's take a minute. Let's take in some deep breaths. Let's close our eyes. I apologize for the traffic. It's Friday night. I live on a busy road. Okay. Spirit, I know I already called in the Reiki energy, but I'm going to call it in again. And I just ask all of you to also call in the Reiki energy. And if you don't know what Reiki is, that's okay. And you can research it after this. Reiki. It'll be on here so you'll see it. So we're channeling the Reiki energy. And we're saying, thank you so much, Reiki energy, with the power of the sun energy. Thank you for healing us from the inside out and the outside in. Thank you for balancing and clearing our chakras and auric field of that which no longer serves our greatest and highest good. Thank you so much for blessing us, Spirit, and blessing these messages from the Love Yourself Oracle today. Thank you for reminding us of our power. Thank you for blessing us with the energy and the knowing of who we are and why we're here. Thank you for helping us move through our shadow. So many of us are working through the dark night of the soul. We're cutting through the excess of the old version of ourselves, that third dimensional energy. Thank you for the lessons. We let you go. With grace and gratitude, we release and let go of all that which no longer serves any part of our greatest and highest good in this life and beyond. I call upon your higher self and my higher self to accept this healing and these energies of detachment and letting go. I'm going to ask that you continue to heal all of us, whatever's in each of our greatest and highest good. We erase and let go of the old energies and attachments that no longer serve our greatest and highest good in this lifetime and beyond. And so it is. We thank you with grace and gratitude. Blessed be. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to continue healing all of us. Spirit is pulling out and releasing any energies that no longer serve your greatest and highest good. I'm feeling like some of you, like we're literally like pulling some energies out and it's going back into the ether, back into the earth, back into love. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I feel like for some of you, or at least one person, they're having me say, stop spending all your money on having other people work on you or heal you when you can do it yourself. It's like a quick fix. It's like taking diet pills or drinking diet drink supplements, like things like that. They're like, there's no quick fixes. If you want to get healthy, you start from the ground up. Real fresh fruit, real fresh food, herbs, those kind of things. Self-healing, taking the time to educate yourself. I'm hearing this is a really big message right now that they're saying if you are here listening to this right now, it is time for you to start healing yourself from the inside out and the outside in. Challenge yourself. Start just one day at a time. Maybe make your own sunscreen, like research it and see how can I make a very healthy, non-toxic sunscreen. There are actually herbs and oils and tinctures and things out there that you can actually use that is the same as using some sunscreen you're getting at the store that has chemicals in it, because a lot of those too can be very toxic because it's messing with your skin, and then it's almost like you're baking the chemicals into your skin. Okay. Also, did you guys hear earlier that I don't know what it was. It didn't sound like a truck, but there was like a weird crash when we were getting that. That was very interesting. Right before we started this, like literally like right before I started this little fairy flew by. And I'm just feeling this very interesting, ominous energy that keeps. I feel like there's this ominous energy that's trying to get in, and we're all just like, nope, no, nope, nope. We're all staying on a high vibration. We're doing our best. So I congratulate you. Spirit congratulates you. Continue on the high vibration. And if you're not, that's okay. You're in depression or anxiety or both. And as we've, learned, at least it feels right to me, depression is living in the past and anxiety is living in the future. If you live in the present, you will have neither. If you're depressed and you can't get out of bed, I have those days too. You have to force yourself to do the things, even if it's just to take care of yourself, even if it's just to wash your face, even if it's just to grab a drink in the morning, make yourself a hot beverage. Go, and if you live somewhere where certain things aren't accessible to you, then order stuff online. There are many beautiful companies online that you can order things from. Mountain Rose Herbs is one of my favorite in Oregon and the Pacific Northwest, and they have pretty much almost anything you can think of, and they grow and harvest and do everything themselves, and you can seriously find so many wonderful things. They have sales going on all the time, so you can buy things in bulk and get really good deals on them. But I'm just hearing, like, maybe making your own toner, facial toner. Look up dandelions, like all these things. There's just all these things that I'm getting, especially for those of us that are in the spring, or even in our Southern Hemisphere family. We love you. Thank you for being here as well. Same with fall. It's harvest time, right? So in the springtime, where things are coming up, and then we are planting for things to come up in the fall. So I'm just hearing this, getting more connected to the earth, getting more connected to your foods and your clothing, and those kind of things are going to start to subtly change you. It's the same for me now. I'm not, I'm not saying this to throw him under the bus, but I had a kind of a bummer thing recently where I saw Alder's garbage in his car, and I was like, oh my gosh. And like some of the things that he's consuming are just not good. And I had mentioned something, and he was just like, well, I'm still, eating as organic as I can, and I'm still, vegan, but for the most part, he's like, but I have been eating cheese, and I haven't, and it's interesting because I've noticed that his energy is different and his temperament is different. And that would make sense because when we were together, I pretty much, unless he got things when I, wasn't with him, of course, but like everything in our house was pretty much from scratch, or, you know what I mean? So it would make sense that he's feeling more depressed or not feeling as, more like him if he is, you know, change, which is interesting because he's a triple Gemini and this is like the twinsies. Um, but yeah, they're going to keep hounding us about these things until we take it very seriously and change our lives. Because I'm telling you from personal experience, especially so many of us, if not all of us, are empathic and very high level empaths, meaning like we feel energy. So you're going to feel if you're wearing polyester and clothes that are made out of, chemicals. And I'm telling you, I went to fashion design school. If you saw the way that they make clothes that are not natural, well, even that, I mean, could be not good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you saw the way they made it, it would make you want to throw up that you wear that on your body. I'm telling you, after I saw it, I rarely, and if I do wear something that isn't a natural fiber, I have a natural fiber of some kind underneath it so that my skin can breathe. It's so important. Our skin is the biggest organ on our body. If we don't take care of ourselves, it's like no one's going to do it for us. So every time I meditate or do a visualization for healing, I'm connecting with like-minded people all over the world. So when you're thinking about the Reiki healing, you're calling on the Reiki energy. And when I'm doing a Reiki healing, especially by myself, and I like to balance my chakras with Reiki, a lot of times either in the morning when I'm getting up or when I'm going to bed at night. A lot of times I hardly ever finish all my chakras because I fall asleep usually when I'm at my solar plexus and my heart chakra, I'll start to fall asleep, or my heart chakra and my throat chakra, I'll start to fall asleep. And I don't quite make it all the way up to my crown, but that's okay because my body's just like, it just falls asleep, while I'm healing it. And in the morning, though, I find when I'm more alert and I'm having like these deep meditations doing Reiki, I can feel that I'm connected to a whole system and community of people. I can really feel that. So I know what they're saying. So even if you haven't been attuned with Reiki, and of course, if you have, when you're working with Reiki, start really thinking about it like that. I know that everybody has different teachings from Reiki or whatever, but it's so much more than that. It's so much deeper than that. And it really is about just connecting to the collective, which is we can just on demand heal ourselves, call in the healing energy. So I just realized we didn't see the back of this one, which is, whoops, look at that. I am one with everyone on the planet. Yes, and the universe. And look at how it went different. What does this one look like on the other side? Oh, it's the same. I love it. So with affirmations, I claim my inner power. And right now our affirmation is, I am one with everyone on the planet. And also, I make time to recharge my battery. The world needs my energetic light. We can't keep going all the time. We're not Energizer bunnies. Even though we are, look at how the light's shining on the world. Even though we do have more, special gifts than a lot of other, entities on the planet, we still are human here. So we have to take care of our avatar. And that's why they've been pushing so hard for us to do that. And lately, I get frustrated with spirit because I'll be like, I'm just too tired. I'm just too tired. But once I get up and I start doing stuff, I realize, no, I'm just coming out of the funk of spring. You know what I mean? Or the funk of winter. And we're just about mid-spring now. So I feel like, well, technically, no, we're a third of the way in. Thank you, Spirit. I apologize. And I always say, like, in every season, there's 3 months to the season. And I kind of feel like it's like the beginning, the middle, and the end. So it's like the first month, we're kind of pulling out of, in the Northern Hemisphere, like we've been pulling out of winter and pulling into spring. And now it's like, okay, now we're going to be full on spring. But listen to the rhythm of your body and your energy before you just like spring into action. I've had to really have, I don't want to say a knowing, but like an understanding that I am not old. And the only limitations I'm putting on myself are the ones I'm putting there. However, I have lived 53 years pretty hard on this body. So I have sores and pains in my joints and certain things that like I didn't have when I was younger. So I have to stretch more. I have to do more yoga. I have to take more care of myself. I need to move around and do the things that I love and connect to the earth. And I almost feel like Spirit is saying, I am one with the planet. Not just everyone on the planet, but I am one with the planet. I am one with everyone on the planet and the planet. I almost feel like they want us to pull one more card. Let me see. I feel like this was all over the place, but I also feel like it had a place. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like every message was put there for every reason that it was, if that makes any sense. So with affirmations, I claim my inner power, and they want you to have this as another for another mantra. See, now it's really late. I wanted to do this so badly. Now it's really late. I open myself to all good. To all good. And also remembering that if something happens that doesn't feel quote unquote good, being grateful for that too, because it's just redirecting you back to where you need to go. We're going to keep, it's a natural human thing for us to keep going this way and that way and this way and that way until we find the right path, or until we finally listen to ourselves. Like truly, truly listen, because that's the vibe I'm getting from Spirit, is that we need to listen to our bodies, recharge our batteries so we can be these beautiful fairies. They need us. and to take the energy from the snail. Look up snail spirit medicine and remember that we are going at the pace that we are meant to go. We are in divine timing. We are here right now for a reason. And the number one thing is to love ourselves. It's a great deck, by the way, if you're looking for like a good affirmation deck. Look at that. Love yourself. You get the gist, right? But this is what they want us to remember every day. To love ourselves, to take care of ourselves. And it doesn't make you selfish to look out for yourself. That's what I just heard. Some of you, I feel like you're like, I feel selfish. They're like, you feel selfish taking care of yourself? No, that's somebody who programmed you to believe that you're selfish for taking care of yourself. Most people who tell us that we're selfish for looking out for ourselves, number one, don't know how to self-regulate. And number two, are in the victim blame game. Oh, I already put that card away, right? But we're not victims. It's just an old, outdated programming. All right, you guys, I believe those are all of our messages. Do you have anything else to say? Do you have any more messages, Spirit? Nope, those are our messages. I hope they helped you in any way, especially some of them who were really specific. I feel like some of these messages were so gosh darn specific. I feel like this wants to go over here. I don't know why. Maybe they wanted you to see something. Ooh, that's my grandma. Hold on. Where did that go? Okay. There's something back here. Oh, the Lemurian crystal. I was like, what are you digging for back here? Okay, so we have an apophyllite and the Lemurian crystal. And also, I'm feeling like it's time to, like, you know, do something nice for yourself. Something sparkly. Like something you don't normally do. Like, you know, do something really nice for yourself. Like go and get your hair done, or, you know what I mean? Like something that you wouldn't normally do. I'm just getting this vibe from Spirit that it's really important for us to all do something that we don't normally do. Also, the lapis lazuli wanted to come in, so you may want to work with the lapis lazuli. Okay. And being outside. Anything else, Spirit? Do you have anything else that you'd like to say at this time? Nope, that's it. But look at I feel like the Lemurians are like, hey guys, what's up? Because, you know, I wouldn't say all of us are Lemurian, but I don't know. If you can read this crystal, you're most likely Lemurian. For my scryers and also for those who read, you know, the lines and stuff, the grids. Yeah, this was for somebody. Sometimes I can feel when it's over and I'm like, okay, bye. And then other times when it lingers like this, I know there's like look at that. There's some other messages coming through. And this was gifted to us by one of our tribe members, a fellow Lemurian. Zoe. This is a really powerful, very powerful crystal. I actually need to talk to her because I've been getting this vibe. She's kind of a crystal queen, and I've been getting this vibe like I'm meant to get some crystals from her for the tribe. So, well, look at that. So cool. All right, you guys. That's it. Until next time, love yourself, love each other, and take really good care of yourself and each other. I open myself to all good, and I am one with everyone on the planet. And so it is. Blessed be. I love you. Bye.